Welcome, folks. As always, I am Josh Kirby, and today we are bringing you a new version of the Josh Kirby on Sports podcast. We hope you enjoy.
Oh, indeed. I'm glad you connected. This is Dave Johnson, voice of the Washington Wizards. You have connected to the right place because you are listening to my man, Josh Kirby, on Sports Podcast.
Happy holidays and Merry Christmas, folks. Hope you all enjoy your wonderful Christmas and holidays. I'm Josh Kirby, as always, and today we have a very exciting show for you. Today, we will have our Week 16 scores for all our NFL fans out there. Our take on a huge week coming up in college football and the college football playoff. And the decisions of some players sitting out their last game in college football. The Josh Kirby on Sports podcast starts right now. But before we start, we just want to take a minute to thank Route 11 Chips, our sponsor for this podcast. Route 11 Chips, you can find them in stores, Martin's, Food Lion, and Giant. And make sure you try their new salt and pepper chips. They're really good. I have tried them, and it's something you got to get. So let's get right into it here. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, CJ Mintier. CJ, did you have a Merry Christmas?
Of course I did.
Well, you want to tell the viewers what you got?
Yes, I got some cap socks and some money.
Yes, cap socks.
I'm a Pens fan, people.
Yeah, caps. So let's get started with the scores.
Of course.
Be my guest, CJ.
So we're going to start out with this recap of this past week, starting off with Josh's great Redskins falling to the Titans 25-16. The Ravens shocked the Chargers to move into fourth place of the AFC race, 22-10 over the Chargers. The Browns beat the Marvin Lewis just got another contract extension Bengals 26-18. The I can only win in Dallas because I pay the refs Cowboys beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 27-20. The Hail Marys always work in Detroit. Minnesota Vikings terminate the Lions 27-9. The I love Saquon, but we're too scared Giants losing shockingly, actually not really, to the Colts 28-27. The Blake Bortles was eating a sandwich before he came off the bench into the game. Jaguars beat the Dolphins 17-7. The Buffalo Bills lose once again to the Patriots 24-12. The game is never over until it's over. Packers beat the Bathtub Jets 44-38 in overtime. The Christian McCaffreys, because that's all who plays for the Panthers, lose to the Falcons 24-10. The I should have gone number one overall, but I only have won 3 games. Josh Rosen led Cardinals, lose to the Rams 31-9. The resurgent monsters of the Midway Bears beat the 49ers 14-9. The I think Phillip Rivers is better than Big Ben, but I'm actually just smoking a blunt. Saints beat the Stephen really needs surgery from a doctor for his fumbleitis Steelers 31-28. The Pete Carroll is keeping his job. Seahawks beat the Oklahoma of the NFL Chiefs 38-31. And finally, the Penguins beat the Capitals last week, people. I'm just messing with you. The Raiders mugged the Broncos 27-14. That's your week recap here, people.
All right, so we're going to start off with a very okay, so it's just going to have to come down to DJ Swearinger. I can't believe they actually released him, but in my opinion, they should have punished him in a different way. The Redskins lost to the Titans, obviously, and it ended up that they will not make the playoffs again. And with that, I see a little bit of reason why the Redskins cut DJ Swearinger for going off on Greg Minuski. I mean, you seriously shouldn't be doing that to a coach. You got to respect what the coaches say. And I think with the situation the Redskins safeties have had, that they shouldn't have let Swearinger go. They should have punished him in a different way, so to say. But with Monte Nicholson out with off-the-field issues, getting arrested, and Clint Dix, in my opinion, underperforming, and we let DJ Swearinger go. What does that mean for the future of the Redskins?
Well,
it means a lot of things.
Well, I just think your organization is a piece of crap to begin with now. You guys take in Reuben Foster. What is up with you guys? You guys take in Reuben Foster and you let DJ Swearinger go?
Yeah.
Why? What is the deal here?
Well, I just think that goes to show how classless of an organization the Redskins have become.
Well, for me, it just shows that you guys... I said it on Twitter. I thought that you guys were sensitive. I really did. But then I went back on my words. I kept the tweet out there because I have to swallow my own spit. It was a bad tweet. I don't think the Redskins are sensitive. I just think that they're an organization that you don't talk bad to your coaches. In any profession, for that matter, you don't talk bad to your boss.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the media, you don't do that.
Yeah, football. Football is a business. It's a job. Mm-hmm. Some people may not think it.
I don't give a damn if you're making millions of dollars. You respect your coaches.
Yeah, respect your coaches. And, I mean, I agree he was cut for that reason, but still, the situation with the Redskins and safeties, he should have been punished in a different way. Since we were eliminated from the playoffs, I would have just sat him on the bench for the rest of the season.
Okay, yeah, well, one game, rest of the season. But yeah, for me, it comes down to what I like the Redskins and how they said, because this wasn't the first incident. Remember, this is a Pro Bowl safety. This is a guy who was the best player on your defense.
This has occurred in past.
And this has occurred in the past. If this season and the previous years, he's been signed by Arizona since he was released by you guys.
Yep, back to Arizona. And he claims that he's not going to be saying anything else. He's just going to keep quiet and play his game.
That's not going to happen.
I think it's a bunch of horse crap.
Players get frustrated. That's not going to happen. For me, yeah, this is something that this guy has been doing his whole career. And I'm surprised that the Redskins put up with it. And I'm also not surprised because they know that he was your best defensive player. But now they cut him? And seriously, you cut him for not swearing, talking out to the coaches, but you don't give a talk to Josh Norman, who literally was about to have a brawl right after the game was over against the Titans.
Yeah, I saw that video, and I was like, what the heck are you doing? Taylor Lewan was in full uniform, for crying out loud.
He threw his helmet, too.
Yeah.
What's he going to do?
Okay, so...
He's lost his weapon, Josh.
Okay, so, first off, with that
He's
situation...
He's got to get in the gym, too.
Yeah.
If he wants to play him.
Yeah, but my thoughts on that Taylor Lewan said that Josh Norman was trying to hurt Derrick Henry.
And an offensive lineman, his number one job is to protect, and he doesn't care.
Okay, so do we know if that really happened? No. Would I be surprised if it happened? No, because it's Josh Norman.
And it's football.
Yeah, and
they try to do cheap shots in football.
Yeah,
they just do.
Yeah, Josh Norman tried to fight back, and Taylor Lewan did nothing. He just kept pushing him, and he walked away. He instigated the fight, then he walked away. But the thing about it is, who do you think is going to win a fight against a player?
I don't know. Let's call it into pay-per-view and see if we can get the fight on TV. Let's call it into pay-per-view and let's see if we can get it.
Yeah, but anyways,
uniform too. We got to have him in the pads because Josh Norman can't have a helmet either.
That was a terrible decision by Josh Norman, and I really don't like him as a Redskin anymore. I really don't.
Well, I think Redskins fans have to understand that Josh Norman, he's an above-average cornerback.
He just needs to change his attitude.
He's an above-average cornerback, But when people look at him from his 2015 season, this is a guy who literally had the best middle linebacker in the middle of the defense with the Carolina Panthers back in 2015. He had a whole defense around him, and he had an MVP, Cam Newton, at quarterback. Josh Norman did not win that season by himself. They lost in the Super Bowl, remember?
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't understand this. And it just goes to my next question here. You guys, why are you guys falling apart this late in the season? In the media, in every single way, you guys are falling apart. And it's unbelievable here, Josh.
All right, let me ask you this first. Is Norman on the Redskins worth $80 million?
He was $80 million?
Yeah.
I didn't know the details of his contract. Worth $80 million?
Yeah.
No.
That's
you
what I
guys
thought.
need to sign some players who, I can name probably one player on each of your levels on defense. Jonathan Allen, Zach Brown, Clinton Dix. I wouldn't even put Josh ahead of I'm serious. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel that he is not worth $80 million.
Yeah, but looking at when he got traded to the Redskins, I feel like he just hasn't been performing. Like, he hasn't put a name on for himself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that is. Maybe because the defensive scheme's different or something.
Maybe.
But
I
was hoping that he would get some good playing time and make a name for himself so he could possibly get a contract extension. As you know, he's in his last year of his contract.
Yeah? Really? I didn't know the whole details about the Green Bay trade or anything like that.
The Redskins traded a 4th-round pick for him.
4th-round pick, wow.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to be gone after this season.
Yeah, because his contract's up.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
He's not worth $80 million, though. A defensive player is so hard for defensive players to get the type of money that you see with Aaron Donald and Khalil Mack because those guys can produce. Those guys have shown that they can produce in multiple seasons. A guy like Josh Norman has had one season. He had one season. Sure, he was an okay cornerback before that, but he had one season. But I want to go back to my question here, Josh. What do you guys do here in the future now as a Redskins organization?
Man,
because you're losing money with Alex. You just are. You're losing money with him now that he's gone.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, what I would like to happen is they would restructure his deal, but I've heard talks. Maybe they do it. I'm not sure. If not, we're in the hole for a bunch of money.
Oh boy, that's a lot of salary cap. Going.
Yeah.
Lot.
I know. And that means we can't pick up a quarterback in the draft.
Will Grier is not going to come there then.
Yeah.
Because that would be, in my opinion, that is the prototypical quarterback that you want.
I would love to see Will Grier. He's a pocket passer and he can move, you know? But another thing, with Swearinger to Arizona, he's on the books for the Redskins next season for $4.2 million.
Really?
Yep.
Because they claimed him off waivers, so that means that
Yep.
You guys.
So
really
there's Swearinger, Alex Smith. I don't know. I don't think we owe Colt anything. Colt got placed on IR because our playoff hopes were done, but
I don't know why he wasn't placed on it at all. Going to come out there in a boot and play? No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, because they were saying they were going to keep him off IR in hopes of the playoffs. I was like, keep Josh Johnson.
Leg.
No, but apparently it wasn't as major as they thought, you know?
I don't care. If you fractured something in a body part that literally keeps you standing up, and if you're going to go out and play players of the best in football, if I have like an Ndamukong Suh running at me after I probably just fractured my leg, I'd say I'm done. I don't get that, but
yeah, I still think it was a terrible move doing that. But anyways,
let's move away from your Redskins and just talk about who you got now for the Titans versus Colts.
Oh, geez.
Because this is a playoff game that
game,
win or go home.
Monday night, not Monday night, Sunday night football. That's the place to play a win or go home. It's win or go home.
Yeah.
Each team has a shot. These are the best type of games. I remember when the Redskins had a shot at the playoffs, and they beat the Dallas Cowboys. Week 17 in general is a great week for football. I'll be on vacation, so I don't know.
You're such a motivational speaker here,
No,
Josh.
okay, no. So, like, not even watching the Redskins, but local TV, you're lucky. You have Sunday ticket.
Yeah,
you're
kinda am.
blessed or something.
Hashtag blessed.
Yeah, but I mean, 4 games on local TV in this area.
Wow.
2 at 1
'Cause it's
and
gonna
2
be-
at 4.
There's so
plus
many
the
games
Sunday
that got
night game.
flexed
Yeah.
to the 4:30
Yeah,
time.
there's a list of games at 1 o'clock, a list of games at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just great. Week 1 and Week 17 are the best football. Week 1 because you don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I don't think that's a good. I don't think that's a good week.
I mean, you just don't know what the teams are
Okay.
going to look like in the regular
That's true.
season because you know how preseason is. Like,
I know. You sit down, you have your jersey on, and after the week 1 game, you get up, you tear your jersey off, and you're going to say this is going to be a long season.
yeah, but
and you go cry in the tub.
in Week 17, all the playoff implications. It's where
Yep.
the playoffs fall in line.
But who you got? I want to know who you got.
Man.
Do you
With
think that
speaking of, one more thing. I'm sorry, but the Redskins lost to the Titans' backup quarterback.
Yeah, it was Blaine Gabbert.
Yep.
Yes.
And for that reason,
It was a stinger, though, on Mariota.
yeah, so for that reason, I'm not sure if Mariota is healthy.
It's a stinger.
Yeah.
I'm sure they wanted to keep him out of this game
Yeah.
because they knew that this game probably wasn't going to mean much to him in the end. But
Yeah.
continue.
I have to go with the Colts because Andrew Luck, he's been playing phenomenal, and
Yeah.
they're getting their act together. And
I'm
this could be a playoff team, maybe not this year, but in years to come.
I'm taking back my Deshaun Watson for comeback player of the year.
It's Andrew Luck.
It's Andrew Luck. I completely understand. I think through like 11 games he had 33 touchdowns, I want to say. 33 touchdowns in 11 games, I
That's
think it was.
amazing.
And now they're on the brink of going back to the playoffs. Remember last year? They won 4 games.
Yep.
They fired their head coach, Chuck Pagano. He's gone. Now Frank Reich, Super Bowl champion coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, comes in. He's probably going to take his team to the playoffs. You're right, Josh. I had the Titans on my mind, but I'll pick the Colts.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with them.
Good stuff. Moving on here.
It's going to be tough. They're in Tennessee, too.
Okay, moving on here. The Chargers and the Ravens. In Lamar Jackson, they get the job done. But the real question I want to ask you first, did Phillip Rivers lose his MVP status in this game?
I think that it showed how weak the Chargers are. Phillip Rivers? Yeah, right. Cam Jordan, you're going to pick Phillip over Big Ben? Seriously? Phillip Rivers. He's won 2 playoff games his entire career, and I'm talking this slow because it sounds like you were smoking a blunt when you were talking about this. I literally don't understand this. Ben beat the Ravens. Phillip Rivers didn't. Ha. No. Yeah, Phillip Rivers. Yeah, he lost my MVP vote. You're at home. Saturday Night Football. You got the 19,000 people at the StubHub Center behind your back. Oh God, you got the 19,000 or whatever amount of people
The
behind your back.
StubHub Center. Low attendance, higher price tickets.
Yeah,
Are they going to build their own stadium? What's
they're
going to
share it with
that?
the Rams. There's a whole new stadium coming in like 2 years.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
They're gonna
so they're going to
share
share it. Yeah. So, yes, he did lose it. The Ravens are a scary team, but they could lose this weekend and not be in the playoffs.
Yeah, and they're playing
Absolutely.
the Browns.
They're playing the
The
Browns.
Browns, you don't know what to expect out of them.
I don't know what to expect, but we'll get into that later. We'll get into that in a sec about how I feel about these Browns. But these Ravens, they're playing a style that you just don't see, and it shows down the road who's going to be their starting quarterback.
They already said Joe Flacco isn't coming back.
For next season?
Yep.
I did not know that. Shows how much that I care about the Ravens. Anyway.
Yeah, but with Lamar Jackson, I do really like him, but I'm afraid he's going to end up hurt by running so much.
Yes. We saw it with RG3. We always see it's literally
I
like
don't
the
really
RG3.
want to. I don't
want to make it like that season either. I don't.
No, I don't want to compare it to RG3.
I don't want to do that either.
Because Lamar, he brings a lot to the table. I mean, how many interceptions has he thrown?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, probably. I feel like he's only thrown one by looking.
There's got to be more than that, but besides the fact. He is like RG3 in the sense of you have a dual threat quarterback.
And you use your legs all the time.
And
you get abused. And
like I said, these are 300, 250-pound guys that are just hitting you right in the body because they know where to hit you.
Yeah.
They know where to hit you.
Yeah, knock on wood, that nothing bad happens to him. But I hope the Ravens will change. No, because if they change him, he's going to be terrible. Like, make the system around your quarterback, you know? Don't just throw your quarterback in a system, you know? Mm-hmm. Because that's just not the way to get it done, and then you're just going to end up losing your quarterback. Like, that's what happened to RG3, trying to make him a pocket passer.
And Mike Shanahan, times were different back then. They can adapt that now. They can. But also, the Ravens' running game is starting to scare me a little because they know how to get it done.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson has put up numbers
and also
rushing.
People like Gus Edwards. Alex Collins is injured. He's done for the year. Who the hell is Gus Edwards? I'm serious. Like, I don't know these players. I could not tell you.
I couldn't tell you.
By the way, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on the year for Lamar. So he's only got 6 touchdowns, 58% completion percentage right now. I don't know how that's going to work in the playoffs, though. But it is going to work because, as I said before, what do you need to do late into the year? When it gets cold, when you go on the road, you need to run the football, and you need to play defense. And the Ravens can do both. Number 1 defense. They have the number 1 defense. I know the Bears are the most exciting defense to watch, but it still doesn't show up on the stat board because the Ravens have the number 1. And now they're going to have to play the Browns.
Uh-oh.
And we're going to go right into it right now.
Do the Browns have a shot to end their season on a high note by beating the Baltimore Ravens?
You know, Josh, as a Steelers fan, I want to hope they do because that's our only hope right now is the Browns. Last year, I would have said, dude, we're screwed. We are not going to the playoffs. But this year, these are not your Browns, like your local neighborhood Browns, kids that literally go around and shoot off airsoft guns. These are high school football players. These are guys that you're scared of. Baker Mayfield and this team, they're riding high, man. They're riding high, and they scare me. For next year, congratulations, Steelers. You tied them once and you beat them once. I don't see that happening next year, man. This Browns team is changing. And if Greg Williams stays, they're going to be good. I'm picking them to beat the Ravens because these are not the same Browns as the past couple years. They aren't. Well, what about you? I mean,
man, that's a tough call.
Really, Josh?
Yeah. In my opinion, it's going to come down to the wire.
It's an AFC North matchup.
It's going to come down to the wire.
It's a rivalry game.
Yeah, a rivalry and playoff implications on the line. With the way the Browns have been playing, it's going to come down to the wire.
This is their Super Bowl.
I wouldn't be surprised if there would be a 2-minute drive. Like, the game would be decided in the last 2 minutes of the game.
Okay.
But that's really tough.
I know. Because we still have this people still have this feeling it's like, it's the Browns. You can't trust them. I can trust them this year. I can. I really can. they're about to finish almost 8-8. That says something from a team that literally didn't win a single game last year.
With Lamar Jackson coming in, it's a matter of whether he has the confidence to go into this game and play well and not get overcome with emotion.
Because the Ravens, their playoff picture is not set in stone.
Yeah.
They still have to win this game if they want to go to the playoffs.
And, man, 2 rookie quarterbacks coming in late to the season.
Both Heisman Trophy winners.
Coming in late to the season. Oh, my gosh.
Both Heisman Trophy winners, man.
What a storybook ending to this season.
I don't know about that, but
I don't know. I'm
fairy tale ending, Josh. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. It's a storybook.
I just it's taken me a while to come up with my decision. Like there's so many things that go into this for me, but
because I'm the best. I have my mind set.
Man, with the way the Browns have been playing, I'm going to have to pick the Browns.
Okay, well, let's go off of that. Baker Mayfield. You think he's a child or a competitor? Because
he's a child. Like, seriously, play the game of football and stop ratting out your old coaches. Like, seriously. Come on, play the game of football. You're going to do a lot better when you focus on you and your grind. And just stop making bad gestures to your former coach or something. Staring down on a 60-yard pass for a touchdown. Was there a reason for that? Like, really?
there's no reason for it.
Just play the game, Baker Mayfield.
I know he came out and said, I don't care what you people say. Well, apparently you did, because you had to reply to what people said. Because you could have just said nothing and just sit and let people talk. But no, he's both to me. He's a competitor because he's had to work his entire college life. Went to Texas Tech as a walk-on, played, transferred to Oklahoma, had to sit out a year or two, and then he finally got his shot. Bro, you have the life. You're a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. You come in, you get the chance to start in the third game of the season. Sure, your coach isn't going to be perfect. There are plenty of NFL quarterbacks that have come into this league and have hated it because of the way that their coaches have been. Stop acting. You're acting like a chick. It's like, remember my ex. Hugh Jackson's my ex. I hate that guy. I hate that guy. No, stop acting like Hugh Jackson's your ex-girlfriend. Just worry about the game. Yeah, you want to be a total competitor? Then how about you stop worrying about the past and keep moving on? Staring down Hugh Jackson. I'm surprised you didn't just... Never mind. I'm not going to say anything
Just
about that.
play the
Just
game
play the
of
game,
football.
please. Nobody needs to see... Because you want to start controversy. I can tell you want to start controversy. Nobody cares about that around here. We want to see good football. And the Bengals aren't a good football team. They are not. Which is why the Steelers, I think, have a better shot at making the playoffs than the Ravens do because of the teams that they are playing at the end of the season. But Baker, why do you care so much about what your old coach did? Why is this such a big deal? You know what Hugh Jackson thinks? I was 3-36-1 as a head coach. I freaking sucked as a head coach. And all you can think about is, I hate that guy because he made my life hell. He made my life hell for 3 weeks. And now you're about to probably have the first winning season in probably 4 years for the Cleveland Browns. And you can't get out of your thick skull about Hugh Jackson? What is up with you? But I will say this. You're a competitor because you balled out. There's a reason why Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback than people like Johnny Manziel or these players who come out, and we'll get into that later in the show. But Baker Mayfield was ready for the NFL ahead of most of these players, and he's had to grind. He had to grind to become the backup to Tyrod Taylor. If you watched Hard Knocks, remember, he was probably going to be the third stringer, behind Drew Stanton as well. Let's not forget about that. Let's not. He had to grind and get to the backup spot. He's a competitor. But my God, dude, you're as old as I am. Let it go. Keep moving on. If Greg Williams is your head coach, if he goes to another team, if he becomes the Steelers head coach, what are you going to do? Stare him down whenever you go by? And it's like, oh, well, here's Baker's freaking childish act again.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to my buddy Josh. He has a bet going on with one of
You're
his...
Josh.
No, one of my buddies. His name is Josh.
Yeah, but you're Josh as well.
Okay. let me get to it. But shout out to my buddy Josh. He was on the first 2 episodes of my podcast. He has a bet going on with a guy saying, and he thinks the Browns would go 500. And his buddy
put him above 500.
And his buddy thought that they didn't. So it comes down to week 17, whether he wins or loses $20.
Did they have a tie clause in there? Because let's not forget they're 7-7-1. They signed a document, right?
I don't know.
No, they probably didn't because they're idiots. But no. You always have a tie clause, people, so you don't get screwed out of your money.
Oh man,
I would know.
Yeah, but moving right along here, the Eagles. The first thing, the Texans and the Eagles. The Texans scored and left the Eagles with too much time with a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And heck, even one other thing, Nate Sudfeld.
Josh, I just want to hear you cuss one time. Please stop saying heck for me. I'm going to throw my laptop.
Now, Nate Sudfeld comes in for a play. Mm-hmm. Nick Foles overcomes his whatever injury, probably.
Got the wind knocked out of him, man.
And he comes back, Super Bowl winning quarterback, beats the Texans. I knew that was going to happen when the Texans scored with over 2 minutes left to play. They gave them too much time, and look what happened.
That's all you got?
All
right, let the master talk. Yeah.
You're not the master.
All right.
You're just the co-host.
Okay.
We're co-hosts.
Yeah, the Texans, you guys won 9 games in a row, and you've lost 2 of your past 3. Now, guess who we were discussing about how the Patriots just last week don't look like the same Patriots and are going to have to go on the road into the playoffs. Now, they're going to be the number 2 seed, and the road to the Super Bowl just might go through Foxborough once again. It just might do it because the Texans lost to the Eagles. This is a team that literally has Bert and Ernie back on their defensive secondary. I don't even know who's in their secondary. I don't know. This is literally, they have Sesame Street characters back there. This is what I saw against the Dallas Cowboys when they played them. And now, they beat the Houston Texans. 10-5 now, the Houston Texans. And now, you guys might drop down to the number 4. No, excuse me. You guys still haven't even clinched your division yet, it says. Still hasn't even clinched the AFC South. I don't know what that says to me about the Texans. I thought that they were the hottest team. No, they're not. The Eagles are the hottest team, man. The Eagles are the hottest team. They scare me if they go into the playoffs. They really do. They don't care if they're the number 6 seed going into the playoffs. They're literally just going to be praying in front of the TV that Minnesota loses to Chicago. That's all they're going to be doing because that's the only chance.
And if Chicago beats Minnesota... Wait, no, let me make sure I get this right. Yes, if Chicago beats Minnesota...
Philly would go to Chicago.
No, the fate of the Eagles season would lie within the Redskins' hands. If the Redskins beat the Eagles, if Chicago beat Minnesota, the Vikings would make it to the playoffs, and that's what I really want. But if the Eagles beat the Redskins...
Christmas is over, Josh. You can't get what you want now. We're on to the new year.
Man.
Screw your Christmas. No, I'm kidding. We're on to the new year. Your Redskins really going to beat the Eagles?
No, but I'm just saying the fate of the Eagles season lies in the Redskins' hands. And if the Redskins happen, there's nothing to lose here. So if the Redskins come
will say
out
that.
and do a Philly special every play or something. Who knows?
Just come out and do a Philly special.
Who knows? But maybe
We'll throw them off this time. We only ran it 20 times right before.
Yeah, so maybe we could pull off an upset. I don't know, but then the Vikings would make it to the playoffs. But if the Eagles beat the Redskins, they're in the playoffs. So that's more drama implications to add, and that's why the game was flexed from 1 to 425.
Okay, but yeah, you guys have to go up against your quarterback that you like, Nick Foles. I'm a little upset here, Josh, with the way that Doug Peterson handles Nick Foles and Carson Wentz. Like I said in the Rams game, I remembered that Alshon Jeffrey was an Eagle. And now Carson Wentz, he could still possibly play in the playoffs. Which team are we going to see? Are we going to see establish the run game, use Darren Sproles, use Alshon Jeffrey, use all your receivers, or are we going to see the Carson Wentz and Zach Ertz show? Because that's all I see when Carson Wentz is in the game. Because Doug Peterson tries to do these crazy plays with Carson Wentz, and you have to remember Carson Wentz is still developing as a quarterback. I don't give a damn if he was in the MVP race. You got to develop him as a quarterback. That is what your entire career as a coach has been. Offensive-minded coach. You're the one calling the plays. If there's somebody to blame for Carson Wentz falling off here, I feel it's Doug Peterson because he's still developing. It's a different story when I hear Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy. Aaron Rodgers, you're a 2-time MVP and a Super Bowl winning quarterback. There is some blame to be put on Aaron Rodgers there when he doesn't make plays happen. But in Carson Wentz's case, this is his third year. For me, I still like Carson Wentz moving forward. My brother likes Carson Wentz moving forward. What say you?
That's really tough because they're both really great quarterbacks, but I think
they both deserve a starting job, I feel.
I think they're still going to be with Carson Wentz. Because, man, it's just so tough to say because they're two really great quarterbacks, but I think it's Carson Wentz. I don't think they're going to go with Nick Foles. And
do you see Nick Foles leaving then? Because I do.
I thought he was going to leave last year, but he stayed. Yeah. So this year, I'm unsure. I wouldn't be surprised if he got a starting job somewhere, got traded or something because you have two really good quarterbacks. And, I mean, I just think Carson Wentz moving forward, that's what they're going to do.
And I agree with the two, but Dougie.
If I was the coach, I'd do Nick Foles, to be honest with you.
I just think that Carson has the skills and the ability to be able to have a good defense.
That is true. I'm not going to.
Because Nick is let's not forget, Nick's a little bit older. He's been in the league for 7 years.
Oh, I have a good idea. Just put Carson Wentz in a wide receiver.
Yeah, and have him stand there like Jay Cutler used to do. Oh, I've been working too hard throwing those interceptions. I might as well just take a break here and just stand.
Yeah.
Josh, my Steelers are done. My Steelers are done.
All right. Here's your rant coming up.
My Steelers are done, and they deserve to be done. Because
I do agree with that.
Because when I hear people talking about how the refs are the reason that the Steelers have lost 6 games this season, how many games have you lost this season, Josh?
What's our record? 7-8. Yeah, 7-8.
Oh, well, it's all because of the refs. That's the reason why. All of last year, too.
It's not all because of the refs. The Redskins don't play well enough for the officiating to matter. That Jordan Reed targeting call, we had no chance of winning that game, so who cares?
What I'm saying is that when I hear these fans who are so delusional to the fact that they just can't stand the fact that the Steelers literally pissed their season away down the drain. We were 7-2-1 at one point. I remember we had just beaten the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we were riding high. We were. Ben scores a touchdown on the last play of the game, and it's like, okay, we got an easy game. We go to Denver. Let's get this job done. 24-17 loss in Denver. All right, we got to regroup. We got to come back. We got to be able to beat Los Angeles. That's a huge win for us. If we do this, it puts us even further into the AFC race. We lose that. We're up 23-7 at half, and we lose 33-30. All right, guys, we're 7-5-1 now. So what do we got to do? Well, we got to go to. Excuse me. We got to play Oakland. They've only won 2 games, people. Easy dub up in here.
2 games? I believe they've won 4 now.
Yeah, because one of them was on the Steelers. No, we want easy dub, right? Only won 2 games. Don't have to worry about anything. Ben gets hurt. We lose 21. We lose, excuse me. Sorry, my throat. We lose 24-21 against the 2-11 Raiders. The 2-11 Raiders we lose. We were up 14-10 at half, lose the lead, fall apart. Then we come back home into a game that I was there. We beat the New England Patriots. That doesn't happen. Tom Brady has lost 3 times since 2004 to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Is it crazy that this is New England's worst record since like 2002?
Actually, I think it's their, I want to say, it's not crazy to me because
I saw a stat on Facebook going back to 2011, the AFC East versus the NFC East division champions. You see the Patriots all the way down the line, and you see a little bit of 2 Redskins, couple of Eagles,
couple Dallas, maybe 1 Giant, maybe, don't know,
1 or 2.
But my Steelers, now we're 8-6. I mean, we're 8-5-1. We're riding high. Woo! We're going. Now we can handle New Orleans. It's all because of the refs, right, people? It's all because of the refs that we lost all those games. It wasn't because of the fact that we were up at halftime and we crapped the bed through the rest of the game. Here's a little stat for our fans out there. The Steelers have played almost 1,000 plays this season, Josh. Almost 1,000 plays. You know how many plays have been affected by penalties? 9.5%.
I'm not good at math.
90 plays have been affected for over 1,000 plays. Almost 90 plays. And the refs are to blame for the Steelers losing. Seriously. You fans out there are making this team a disgrace. And also calling for Mike Tomlin's head, you should be ashamed. You really should be ashamed. I can't believe this. If he leaves, I hope the Redskins get him. And they'll win games with them. Yeah. And they'll go to the playoffs with him.
And Jay Gruden going to the Steelers. Oh, man.
Rather electric shock myself in the tub. But
you just like knocking on that table, do you?
I can't stand it when I hear this because the pass interference call that was made in the game on Joe Hayden, yes, it did lead to 7 points. That's it, though. It doesn't show the outcome of the game. Sure, it's 7 points on the board. There's still 60 minutes of football that you got to play here, Josh. 60 minutes. Stephen Ridley, no one cares that he fumbled the ball and he was only in on 2 plays in the game. He literally played the game 2 plays. He was in the game for 2 plays. One of them, he fumbles the ball and gives the ball back to the Saints. And you know what we could have done? We could have easily gotten a field goal driving down the field. But Stephen Ridley fumbles. Nope, it's the refs. Screw those white and black jerseys. They're out to get us, man. They're out to get us. And on top of that, Juju Smith-Schuster fumbles. It's a shame that he fumbled because 11 catches, 115 yards for that young man.
He was on my fantasy team.
That dude's a baller. It is not his fault that we lost. I am completely blaming this game on Stephen Ridley because this has been your whole career. You wonder why. If the Patriots can't fix you, for 4 seasons you were with the Patriots, they shipped you away. If the Patriots can't fix you, nobody can. Nobody can. You were in on 2 plays. 2 plays. You fumbled the ball away. Thank you. Thank you so much. Because not only are you this is how good Stephen Ridley is. We have a practice squad player who is better than him. Who came in over... Okay, here's how it went at the beginning of the season. Le'Veon Bell, then James Conner is going to be the starter. Then we thought Stephen Ridley was going to be the backup. No, we have a practice squad player who overjumps him and who's better than him. What does that say about Stephen Ridley? Why is he in the game when the past 2 weeks, Jalen Samuels has had 200 yards rushing? 200 yards. Stephen Ridley, 6. He's had 6 yards rushing. And he was in on 2 plays. Why is he in there? And I'm not saying this on Tomlin either. I am not calling him for that. That's on Finkner for calling the formation, for wanting him in the game. And then people are going to say the fake punt. You know, Roosevelt Nix flexing on him, showing him the first down. Oh, my
gosh.
Showing him, and then you
I saw it. I was like, what are you doing, man? Like, come on. It was short of a first down. Know where you're at on the line, and don't make a fool of yourself.
People don't understand the call, though, and I do. People say, why don't you punt the ball away? You're giving him a short field. That's the whole thing. That is the whole thing. If you give a full field, there was 4 minutes left in the game, by the way. If you give a full field to Drew Brees with 4 minutes, you're done. You are absolutely done. There is no way that Ben would get the ball back. Absolutely no way. So you only give him 40 yards, 50 yards. You had a minute and a half left to score. Absolutely had a chance to tie the game up. But no, punt it away. That's a smart decision. No. You give them a short field. Because if the time runs out, we have seen it clearly in games where teams have scored as time has expired to win the game because they need a touchdown. So if they run out of timeouts, if the Steelers run out of timeouts and they get inside the 10, their season's done. Their season is done. Fans don't realize that who they're playing against. And this goes into my next segment. The Saints, they're going to the Super Bowl unless the Bears can stop them. They are going to the Super Bowl because the road to the Super Bowl is going to come through the dome. It is going to come through the dome. And now the Saints are going to have an easy road because they don't have to worry about the Rams. They don't have to worry about them anymore until probably the championship game. I don't get this. The Steelers, for people who think that the Browns are our saviors, the Steelers don't deserve to be in the playoffs, people. They don't. The Ravens, they do because they didn't piss their season away at the end of the year. They didn't. But going in to this officiating, though, I do have to say that the officiating on the pass interference call, of all things, was absolutely horrendous. Pass interference? First of all, interference means he's interfering with the ball being passed to him. He was not interfering at all. He was behind him, first of all. He literally gives him a little love tap on the back like, hi, buddy, how you doing? Here's some cookies and milk. No, that's all he was doing. He wasn't wrestling with him. Like, come on. How is that a penalty? That isn't even in the definition of pass interference. That's not even in the definition of pass interference, and yet you still call it. And then, late into the game, of course Hayden's going to get mad, and he's going to want to actually press up on him because he knows that they screwed up on the call. That led to 7 points. This officiating, Josh, I think it's the worst it's ever been. From your Redskins, the blown targeting call, The blown targeting call in the Saints game.
That didn't matter. The blown targeting call didn't matter because the Redskins have not played.
I'm just
in
talking about
game.
the officiating in general, though, Josh. Missing these calls or just making these calls in general.
Well, yeah, I have seen with the Cowboys and the Steelers some missed officiating calls. I'm not sure why it's just the Cowboys and the Steelers, but I think they should look at some film and change some stuff.
This is also not a plus to the Steelers, but people keep forgetting that the Steelers were the most penalized team halfway through the season. They had the most penalties halfway through the season. So if you think that the Steelers are being bullcrapped by the refs, you guys don't deserve to be Steeler fans because you have no idea what you're talking about. I'm done with my rant. But my Steelers, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs. They don't. They don't because they crap this season away. It's always room for next year. It's always what we have to think about next year. So we're going to move on to the Seahawks and Chiefs.
Man, you called it. You called that game. Seattle is a tough place to game.
Primetime football in Seattle?
It's a tough place to play.
You ain't going to win. It was proven last year. Remember, the Eagles lost there last year on primetime football, and they were the Super Bowl champs. Let's not forget about that. Okay, so, and as I said in our weekly recap, the Oklahoma of the NFL, they are not going to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are not going to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. The way they've been playing, blowing all these games towards the end of the season, that it's not enough confidence to put you in the playoffs and give you good confidence.
Sure, Patrick Mahomes.
Probably first or second round bust.
I think Patrick Mahomes is a good quarterback. He is.
Oh, no, definitely.
But the team around him, no. Absolutely not. The loss of Kareem Hunt has put this team in the worst possible time. On top of that, too, the Seahawks, they're a pretty dangerous team. I said that the Bears were probably the only team to have a shot in New Orleans. I'm saying the only quarterback that has a shot to beat New Orleans is Russell Wilson. In my opinion, he is the only quarterback and only team that could probably give that defense of New Orleans a run for their money because the Seahawks have the number one rushing attack. The Saints have the number one rush defense. You put that combined with Russell Wilson, this is going to be a dangerous team. But the Chiefs have screwed their season away, Josh. And now they get an easy exit victory against freaking Oakland. And also, Pete Carroll gets to keep his job now. I don't know why his job was in danger to begin with. He's made the playoffs every single year as a head coach with them.
Yeah.
How was his job in danger? But Marvin Lewis is still the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm getting tired of saying it. I'm getting tired of saying it here, people.
What if Marvin got a contract extension this year?
He probably just got one right now.
Yeah. But Pete Carroll, why? I mean, his job wasn't in jeopardy to my knowledge. The Seahawks have played a decent season, but they're kicking it into gear towards the playoffs, and they can probably make a run.
Okay, but what makes them so dangerous compared to these other teams is their defense and their running game.
Yeah.
You got to be able to do that in December. What do the Chiefs not have? Defense and a running game. What do the Bears have? They got a running game and they got a defense.
Khalil Mack.
He's not the only player there, Josh.
But still, that is what makes the Bears' defense that much better.
The Ravens, they got a run game and they got a defense.
Yeah. I want to take a look in here at our NFC and AFC playoff pictures as we speak from this moment. So, New Orleans, the Rams, Chicago, and Dallas, the division leaders. New Orleans 1, the Rams 2, Chicago 3, Dallas 4. The wild card, Seattle number 5, 9-6, and number 6, Minnesota 8-6-1, with Philadelphia in the hunt. The AFC playoff picture, Kansas City clinched a playoff berth, 11-4. New England, number 2, 10-5. Houston, number 3, 10-5. Baltimore, number 4, 9-6. They haven't clinched yet. The Chargers, 11-4. 11-4. And you're in the wild card.
It's because you're in the same division as the Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean, 2 powerhouse teams, and you'll get a 10-plus win team in the wild card. In Indianapolis, number 6 in the wild card, with Tennessee and Pittsburgh in the hunt.
Yep.
So it's all coming down to the wire here. Any last thoughts? Week 17 action. Any thoughts on that?
Well, it was Week 16 action, and Josh is
No,
smoking a blunt here too.
Oh my gosh!
No, Week 17. I'm gonna have to actually keep an eye on all the 4 o'clock games because I'm used to seeing the 1 o'clock games being everywhere. Josh, it's going to be an interesting weekend in football. But as I said,
I'm angry at you because you have Sunday ticket and I don't. No. Yeah. Moving on here, that was our NFL breakdown for you. Moving on to a great sports weekend. We have the college football playoff starting, baby.
Yeah.
Man. You got Florida and Michigan in a game.
In a game
that's not gonna
it's a foosball game out there.
That's not gonna affect playoffs or anything. But you got Clemson and Notre Dame, Alabama and Oklahoma. CJ, who do you have in these 2 games and why?
Well, I don't want to see it again. I don't want to see Clemson, Alabama. I don't want to see it for the 3rd time in 4 years. But it's going to happen. We're going to see Clemson, Alabama once again.
Well, I'm going to have to agree with you, and I don't want to say it, but Alabama's going to win. If Alabama doesn't win, I will, oh my goodness, I will be a happy camper. But
of course you will.
Alabama's going to win it.
Yeah, I absolutely could see it. And there's Oklahoma fans out there who are saying, well, why aren't you giving Oklahoma a shot? Well, mainly because people who are saying that their defense isn't as bad as you think is that you're delusional, and they're 124th in the country out of 130 teams. Just think about that. Just think about that. 124th in the country, and you got to go up against Alabama, who has a top 10 offense. This is not Texas. This is not West Virginia. This is Alabama, who for the past 5 years has been known for defense. Now they have an offense and a pretty good defense. Same thing with Clemson. Their offense and defense is matched perfectly together. Notre Dame, I give them a shot. I would. But that's all I give them. I wouldn't give them a shot in the championship, no question. I would not give them a shot in the championship. I hope they shock me. I hope they do. Because I am tired of seeing Clemson, Alabama, my friend.
No, I'm tired of seeing Alabama, period. I don't care about Clemson or Oklahoma or Notre Dame.
What is your beef here with the Tide, man? I'm going to get my elephant right now, and he's going to bust a cap. What is wrong? What's wrong with you and the Tide, man? What's up? I'm serious. What's up with you and the Tide?
I just feel like they get an easy schedule every year, and they make it all the way. This year in general, they had Georgia going down twice, but I feel like that was the only good game for them. They play a lot of teams. Like, how many teams have you seen Alabama play that you just knew they were going to blow them out of the water?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But for me, I think that yeah, sure, it's like, why do they deserve a chance? Well, it's because in the games that they do play great competition, they still whip them. That's my thing, is that it's the same thing for the Patriots. The games that they're supposed to win, it's like this. They don't play down. They're the Patriots. They don't play down to their opponents. They don't. Or play up to their opponents. They just play up. They play up. And teams that fault under the pressure, like Georgia, who literally were just thinking about the national championship game, and it's like, oh, we got them now. We're getting our revenge for the national championship instead of focusing on the game at hand. That's the difference between those two teams, is that Alabama, they don't give a damn about the national championship. They care about the SEC championship. They care about winning that game right then and there. But that is the only big thing that is going to matter for college football, because I want to get into these bowl games here, Josh. These bowl games they're just stupid, man.
There was one that just got canceled.
Yeah.
Really?
When I hear these people talk about how, like, oh, it's your last game in college football, well, how do those players think then? For those seniors, it's like, well, my last game in college football, we'll never know. Yeah. And you'll always think about that the rest of your life. These aren't bowl games, people. They're exhibition games. You're playing against a team that you don't know much about. You don't know what you're doing. And you're just going out there to try and win a trophy. Yay! Yay, we won the Camping World Bowl. Who gives a rat's ass about that? I have a ring upstairs that shows what you can do at the FCS level on a great team. So there was a picture of the Frisco Bowl. It's down in the same stadium where they play the national championship at the FCS level. And I probably saw 1,000, 2,000 people probably there. 1,000, 2,000 people probably there. And there wasn't many people there. You know what that stadium is going to look like here in a couple of weeks? It's going to be packed to the brim with green and red. It is going to be packed to the brim. And you're telling me that these bowl games matter? These are absolutely stupid. It's all about marketing and it's all about ads. These players don't care about these games. They don't. Like I said, and in the game last night where I watched Georgia Tech versus who gives a rat's ass State, nobody cares about these games. Seriously. Teams want to compete for the national championship. And yet teams like only 4 of them get to compete. If you don't go to Alabama or Clemson or Notre Dame or Oklahoma, you don't have a shot in playing for the national championship.
Yeah.
And that is just ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Because UCF, guess who they're going to play? LSU. And they're going to win 28 games in a row if they win and declare themselves the back-to-back national champions. And Alabama will also win probably.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree with you. The bowl games are more of a marketing tactic. Like, for real, who cares about the Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl? For crying
the
out.
Bad Boy Masparilla Bowl?
No, the Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl.
The singing slasher? What is that bowl? I've never even heard of that place before.
Hey, apparently the Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl is the granddaddy of them all.
What?
No,
it is not.
It was a joke.
No, it is not.
Yeah, but
yes, that's what they say at all. The granddaddy of them all. The Brasser Bowl, not the Rose Bowl.
yeah, I mean the DXL Frisco Bowl.
That's what I was talking about.
The Makers Wanted Bahamas Bowl. What? Makers Wanted?
Makers Wanted?
Jared Birmingham Bowl.
That sounds a little sexual.
Serve Pro First Responders Bowl. The Cheez-It Bowl.
The Cheez-It Bowl? I'm hungry, Josh.
Yeah. 7-10 in overtime. TCU over Cal. TCU over Cal.
What'd they get at the end of that game?
I don't know.
A big box of nothing.
A big box of Cheez-Its.
And what was inside it? Nothing.
Oh, what else here? The Nova Home Loans Arizona Bowl. That's coming up. The Hyundai Sun Bowl. Hey, you know, Virginia Tech and Cincinnati in the Military Bowl.
Okay, Josh. I think we get the point, though, about these ridiculous names.
Yeah, the Walk-Ons Independence Bowl. Like, really?
God.
I don't know. Just
in this, leads into our last topic, into our last big thing is about these players choosing to sit out in these games. Will Grier, he's not going to play in his last game in college for West Virginia. The Camping World Bowl, he does not want to play in because he cares about making it to the NFL and making a living in the NFL. Well, I want to ask you, do you think that's a good of enough reason for these players to sit out? I mean, you know how long an NFL career average is? It's only 3 years. And you're throwing away one game that could probably mean something to you, except the Camping World Bowl.
Or the Gasparilla Bowl.
Or the Gasparilla Bowl. No, you're choosing to throw it away for a career that you don't even know if you're going to play. That's the thing, is that we don't know if Will Grier is going to play.
I'd take it in every last minute because you're never promised tomorrow.
You're never promised tomorrow, man.
And just take it in. Play the game. Who cares if it's for nothing? Who cares if it's for the Gasparilla Bowl or whatever bowl you're playing in? Just take the moment in and play the game.
But I also understand that you want to have something for your family. Because Will Grier has a daughter. You know, he wants to provide for his family.
How do all these college kids have families at this young of an age?
They're football players, Josh. They know routes and schemes. They don't know that much. No, I'm just playing with you guys out there. You guys know what you're doing. But you guys everybody's human. Everybody is human. We all make mistakes. But everybody out there doesn't get the chance to play for millions of dollars. Anybody would love to have one last chance to play on the football field. And what draws the line for me, though, is that if you care so much about the money, if I saw someone sitting out of the playoff, if I saw someone sitting out in the top 4, if like an Alabama player came out and said, I'm not playing. Why? Because I want to make money and I don't want to hurt myself.
Would be crazy.
So you're telling me you have a chance to play for a dream that some kids will never, ever, ever have a chance to do. And that's hold a trophy that says you're a national champion on it. And all you care about is, I want to make money. That is absolutely ridiculous. That hasn't happened yet. To my knowledge, that hasn't happened yet. But that's where I draw the line, is that, look, these playoff games, these bowl games, I get it. They're exhibition games. I get it. But if you're going to play for a national championship and you're like, no, I'm going to go make those money bags. No. What coach is going to want you then? What coach is going to say, yeah, I want this guy on my team because he'll help us win games? Yeah, it will help you win games, but all he's going to care about is his next paycheck. That's all he's going to care about. Ugh. Yeah, Josh, I think I'm all out.
Yep,
I think I'm all out.
I think you covered that nail on the head there. But before we go, CJ, I know you didn't have this planned, but we had some Christmas Day basketball action, and I know you don't know much about basketball, but LeBron James gets hurt, and the Lakers still beat the Warriors. Wow. What a game that was. I didn't watch much, but wow. 127-101. And let's just look here at the stats. Where is it? Los Angeles. LeBron James, before he goes out, 17 points, 13 rebounds with 5 assists. The leader was Kuzma, 19-6-1. Wow. And off the bench, Rajon Rondo, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists. So, Lakers have a pretty good team going against Steph Curry, who only had 15 points, 1 rebounds, and 5 assists. Kevin Durant, the lead scorer in that game. But, the Lakers 127, Golden State 101. Milwaukee beat the Knicks 109-95. The Rockets beat the Thunder 113-109. The Celtics in the 76ers in overtime. 121-114, Boston wins that one. And Utah over Portland in the nightcap, 117-96. So I think that about wraps it up. Any last thoughts, Mr. CJ?
Nope.
All right. Well, once again, episode 19 concludes. Thank you so much for watching. And once again, thank you to Route 11 Chips for sponsoring this episode. Make sure you check out the salt and pepper chips. They're really good. I might have to actually go and get me some after this. And make sure you check them out in stores, Martin's, Food Lion, and Giant stores. You can get them anywhere. So get them while they're hot, folks. Route 11 Chips. And also, what was it called? I forget. Free Forever. Yes. Our music by Free Forever Jam Studio on premiumbeat.com. And thank you once again for Dave Johnson for doing our wonderful intro. Make sure you check our social medias, YouTube, the Josh Kirby on Sports Podcast, Facebook at Kirby on Sports Podcast, Twitter at Kirby on Sports, and our brand new Instagram page at the Josh Kirby on Sports Podcast. Don't forget to email us any questions at kirbyonsports@gmail.com. Until next time, me and CJ say so long to the next episode of the Josh Kirby on Sports Podcast. We will catch you next time. Actually, we'll see you next year.